everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Talk on the Islands. I'm Allie.
And I'm Carson.
And today we are going to be touching again on the topic of the Call Her Daddy drama because Alex Cooper has spoken out. So we just wanted to make kind of follow-up video and give more of our opinions than we did last time. Okay, so basically Alex posted a pretty decently long video where she was just explaining like her side of the story, and she actually sounded like she was really well spoken, I thought, and she sounded like pretty intelligent. She had a timeline, right?
It's intelligent.
She did, like, she sounded
She did.
smarter than I would expect her to sound, like versus Sophia, who was just like
A bimbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I hate Daddy.
Because I
think
think
this is false.
Because I think like Alex was smart for making her outline for her video because she was more put together. She could get her thoughts out better than Sophia did. And also Alex put hers on YouTube where it's easier to edit the video than Sophia just going on Instagram.
Just did an Instagram story, right? Yeah, so basically she put a video on YouTube. She had a whole timeline that she had like written out, so you could tell she said she even was listening to like every podcast. So we were like, low key, did she listen to ours? She's like,
maybe.
I think she might have. She's like, I listened to every podcast, like read everything on Reddit, like I've listened, I've read, I've heard it all, and like now I've like taken my time to get my thoughts together, and like these are my thoughts. So she wrote out everything. And she pretty much just spoke the truth, I think.
I think it is the truth, too, because a lot of her stories aligned with Dave's.
With Dave, right. It sounded, I think it sounded pretty credible. And all of it I could, like, pretty much believe. So she started to call her daddy. With Sophia, but, like, from the beginning, she was always, like, the editor because, like, previously she had a YouTube channel. Like, she was, like, trying to make it on YouTube. So she did the editing and, like, marketing, like, pretty much everything it makes. It takes to make a podcast
market a brand
happen. And then she had like known Dave Portnoy through the industry, she said, and then she said Dave reached out to her about the podcast, and then they saw each other in person, and that's when they kind of like started talking more about it and like wanted to get the ball rolling. And then like it sounded like at last second she kind of said like, and by the way, like my friend Sophia is in it with me, which is pretty much like what Dave said too. And then she said that they started the podcast, and as we said previously, like it blew up more than like anyone could have ever imagined. But she said that Sophia was always like a little bit insecure about the fact that Alex always did more work than her, and that's why Alex never told Sophia that she went and she asked for a raise herself. And after doing this podcast with you, Carson, I could 100,000% understand why she would want more money, obviously, for like doing the editing and all of that stuff. Like I definitely think it's not 50-50 if you're the only one that's like editing, because as she said, it takes 10 to 20 hours.
Yeah, and for them too, she was saying that they at a time film about 3 hours per episode, and to break down 3 hours worth of footage takes like pretty much like days if you break it up. Or for me, like I have to sit there and just do completely, and sometimes it takes me like 10 hours to do one video.
Yeah, it is very time consuming. So I can understand like if you're gonna have this brand together and you're not gonna both do the editing or like take turns, I could totally understand why Alex is the one who should be making more money.
So with the editing too, she was saying Sophia, like you were saying, she felt insecure about it. And when they would go out places, they'd be like, oh my God, the editing's so great. Who does it? And Sophia would be like, oh, we do it. And like she kind of like asked Alex to tell people this. Yeah. She's like, I don't really want people knowing that you do all the work. Like, let's just tell people we do it. And like Alex agreed to it, I guess. Or it's a hard situation when you're with your friend. You feel socially and like job wise to say yes to that, but they agreed to it. So people thought they were both editing it, but on the low key, Alex really was the one doing it.
Yeah, and like I also kind of don't understand why Sophia wouldn't be like, can you teach me how to edit? Because it's really like you taught me. Like it's really not, that hard once you do it once and you like get the hang of it. Like it's really not a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And like
it's not hard at all, but maybe like since Alex started off with and they had such success with the way she edited, because I feel like people always have like different editing styles.
Yeah,
in a
that's
way.
True.
Even like YouTube people, they hire people to do it, and you can tell when they get a new editor. So maybe that's the reason why. I don't think we'll ever know.
Yeah.
But Alex definitely made her seem like so manipulative, and like I feel like that was the first glimpse in of what a manipulative bitch Sophia has been through this past few years they've been together.
Yeah. Like from the bat, you're not going to give your best friend
The
credit for
credit.
doing the editing. Like that's a little fucked
Yeah.
up.
And it's something so small too. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
she's putting the entire show on her back, which people have said that she
Right.
does. I don't listen to it, but they said that Alex
Me
is really
neither.
the key part to the show.
So basically, she said that like they would go out and like hear from people that like that they were getting screwed over, but like they weren't. The two of them weren't like specifically like, oh my god, we're like we should be making more money, but like people were kind of like putting it in their head.
And like I was saying too, the last podcast we had on this, they were on Impulsive, Logan Paul's podcast, and the first thing he said to me was like, "Do you know how much money you'd be making if you were doing this alone?"
Yeah. So it wasn't really like it wasn't them. It was like other people like putting it in
Yeah.
their head, and then they're starting to go like, okay, like
Yeah. And she was saying
maybe
too that some
concerned.
of the guys from Barstool who have their own podcast were out with some NHL players that she's friendly with, and they were like literally like making fun of them. Like those girls
Mhm.
are so stupid, they're getting paid nothing.
Right.
So to hear, I think in any job too, like you can be working at like, I don't know, McDonald's, and you
H&M.
can hear of somebody saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, I get paid 17 an hour," and they're like, "Oh, well, I only get paid 15." Like, you never want to
Right.
hear that somebody's making more than you if you have the same
Hmm.
success and you're doing the same amount of work. So I can
Right.
understand why their gears would start turning in their head once they hear
Hmm.
that.
Also, she said that it was in their contract that like after a year they would renegotiate their prices.
Yeah,
So like
just
this wasn't like completely out of nowhere.
it wasn't out of nowhere, but the only thing that she said could be negotiated was their salary.
Hmm.
That was what it was. That's what she said. So
Not right, exactly. The
not everything
salary,
else.
not leaving the contract or anything like
Yeah.
that. So I guess like Duke Man got involved and like he's this huge businessman. So he was like really getting involved and like
Mhm.
influencing Sophia about how much money they should get paid. And like along with influencing Sophia comes Alex,
Mhm.
obviously. They're best friends. So they start to like wonder. And basically Suit Man was just behind like all of these like demands that
Yeah.
Sophia had.
He got them their lawyer too that they were using against
Right.
Barstool. So pretty much everything that they put on the table towards Barstool was behind Suitman.
So yeah, so he was like so heavily influencing Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
And and then Alex was just like, okay, like this is my best friend, so like I'm gonna pretty much back her up on this because we're a package deal. Like, okay, she wants that, like I'm okay with this,
Mm-hmm.
but she wants to ask for more. I'm gonna stand behind her because that's my best friend and my business partner,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So Sophia started like wanting to ask for all of these crazy things.
Yeah, and then they
Um,
kind of like got what they were asking for originally
yeah.
too, which was a pay raise and which was the
Mhm.
IP, and they even got 6 months out, and that's what Sophia wanted originally. But then her and Suitman and the lawyers kept coming back with like, no, we want another 6 months off the contract. We want another $500,000. We
Mhm.
want 20% off the alcohol, not the 10. We want 20% off the merch, not the 5. And they just kept going and going and
Like
going.
it was just never enough.
Yeah, it was
No
never
matter what
ending.
it was. Right. And you could like I can't see how Sophia I mean, again, like as we stated in the last episode we did about them, like I know nothing about these
Mm-hmm.
girls, nothing. But like I'm just assuming that HBO Suitman he was just like so in Sophia's head about all these things, and I'm just assuming that like if he weren't in the picture,
This would have never
Sophia
happened like
wouldn't
this.
right, Sophia wouldn't have thought about any of these things. So he must have been behind her, like in her head, like ask for this, ask for this. Like, oh, if they negotiate with you, like you ask for something back.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, if I were Alex, I would just be like, kind of like this is my
Enough too.
podcast. Like this is my podcast
Mm-hmm.
almost. Like how like I created it, like I included you, but then like I do all the editing, I do this. I'm the one that like got in touch with Dave, you
Mm-hmm.
know, to get us on
Yeah,
Barstool.
which
Like
I'm sure she did at one point though, because and now she's the only one doing it. So I'm sure she said to her
right,
like, "Listen, like, cut the shit. This is mine. You don't really
right,
need to be here. So if you don't
right.
want to do this, I'll do it on my own."
Like I just can't imagine like the audacity that Sophia had to be like, I want this, 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 and this,
Mm-hmm.
and like just not considering Alex's feelings at all when Alex is pretty much the reason that Sophia like has
It's in
all of
that
this going for
position.
her.
And Alex was saying too that the lawyers kept coming back and like, we're gonna ask for this, and she's like, "No, like I'm okay with the deal that we got from Dave. Like I'm okay with this.
Mm-hmm.
Like no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine." And she's saying it's Sophia, the lawyers, and Suitman that kept pushing.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it makes sense because Dave was like, okay, we offered them this, and then we had radio silence for 4 days. And then it's like Alex is like, yeah, like there was radio silence because me and Sophia, like there were things going on behind the
Yeah.
scenes between me and Sophia that like we couldn't come to an agreement. So like that all makes sense.
So at that point, she was just saying, she really didn't like leave off. She kind of didn't necessarily say, okay, now I'm doing the podcast on myself. Sophia's not with me.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, this is where we are at. She kind of ended it with it there that she wanted more. She was fine with it. And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
I lost a friend over a boy. She goes, and that sucks. You
Yeah.
never want that.
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, all right, see you fuckers Wednesday. And then
Right.
Dave came out with all this merch. So she's kind of said it without saying it that she's going to be the founding father and
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be her own podcast now.
All right, guys, so more breaking news of this Barstool Call Her Daddy drama just came out today, and we want to get this video up to you right away, so we thought we'd do a little emergency press conference, as Dave Portnoy calls it, and put a little voiceover in our video for you. If you're listening as a podcast, you won't even know the difference, but if you're on YouTube, you'll notice a difference. We just wanted to let you guys know. So basically today, early this morning, Dave Portnoy put up another video, and I love how he's like keeping us up to date on everything that's going on. I think like the key to success is having full transparency. Don't you agree?
100%. And it's so funny because I feel like the first thing he does when he finds something out, I feel like is like make a video. Like
Exactly.
he needs to just let everyone know, like it happened so early this morning and he already posted the video.
Yeah.
So
I think it's good that way too, because then you get your side of the story out rather than having your story manipulated by the press and the media.
Totally.
So anyways, good on Dave's part, but he put out a video this morning, and slimy, nasty little slime ball, little Scooter
We
Braun.
fucking hate.
We hate Scooter Braun. And now Scooter Braun has implemented himself in the Call Her Daddy drama. So basically, Dave said that he found out that Scooter called Erica, which is the CEO of Barstool. He called her late last night and was calling on Peter's behalf and said that Sophia wants back in and she wants 50% of Call Her Daddy. Like, the audacity.
And I just love how Dave, first of all, we hate Scooter because of what he did to Taylor Swift. That's why we have such an insane amount of hate for him. And then I love that, one, Dave always stands up for Taylor Swift. He's like, yeah, you know that guy Scooter, who's Bieber's guy, and he fucked over Taylor Swift. Like, that's one of the reasons why I love Dave so much, for the way that he defends Taylor.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. And I just love how he just goes to town. He's like, Scooter Braun called me. Okay. Like, he does not give a shit that it's Scooter Braun. And it's so funny because it's like, you're getting Scooter Braun, like he has to step in and he thinks, like, he honestly thought Dave Portnoy was just going to be like, okay, yeah, because you're calling me and because you know Justin Bieber, yeah, okay, we'll give Sophia a Call Her Daddy. Like, that's so embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing. I don't even know who it's more embarrassing for, if it's more embarrassing for Scooter or Peter, because it's like kind of like calling your dad and be like, Dad, you'll never guess what happened to me. Can you go up to the store and fix this?
Mom,
it's like literally like, do you know who my dad is?
It's
like so embarrassing that the Peter can't handle his shit himself, that he had to get had to get Scooter involved.
That's like admitting that he fucked up so badly. Yeah. It's like, all right, Sophia, you know I fucked up, but I'm gonna get Scooter to call Erica.
And like, who the fuck is Scooter to these people? God, Scooter fucking sucks.
Scooter sucks dick. He said he called Erica last night, like late last night. Like, it's Memorial Day weekend. Leave Erica alone.
I know, true. But you think Scooter Braun cares? He's screwing everybody over left and right. He doesn't care what day of the week it is.
This is true. I just wanted to throw that in.
It is very true, though. Like, keep your businesses for Tuesday at 9 a.m. Thank you. But with Scooter, too, I just think he's very slimy. And for anybody to go into business with him after the public sliminess that came out during Taylor Swift's things, you have to be stupid to go, or desperate to go into business with Scooter.
I can't stand people that like Scooter. I really, truly just can't. Like, it's so hard for me to like Justin Bieber because I love Bieber. Yeah. And I love Demi Lovato, who Scooter also represents, and Ariana Grande. Like, that's another story. But, like, he's just such a scumbag. And I hate him with, like, every fiber of my being.
And you're right, though, because now that, like, you support those people, you buy their concert tickets, you buy their music, a percentage of that is going right into Scooter's pocket.
And it hurts me. Yeah, it truly hurts me. I don't like it.
And speaking too, so off of this, it doesn't really have to do necessarily with Barstool, but it has to do with Scooter. Overnight too, some big Taylor Swift news came out. So I'll update you on that as well. So basically, all of Taylor Swift's albums, besides Lover, Scooter owns the rights to. So anytime it's used, streamed, this or that, he's getting the revenue for it. So there's this show, and they wanted to use Look What You Made Me Do. So Taylor and Jack Antonoff re-recorded the song with her brother Austin singing under a fake band's name called Jack Leopard and the Dolphin Club.
Yeah.
And it just released overnight to go into this. It's called Killing Eve, I believe it's called, the show, so that Scooter doesn't get the royalties from this song.
Ha! That is so fucking genius. And I thought it was suspicious when I saw Taylor yesterday. She posted it in her story. She was like, I'm stoked about this cover.
It's on AMC, this show. I've never seen this show, though.
Me neither. What show is it again?
Killing Eve.
Oh, okay. So basically, she did this so that Scooter can't get any type of revenue off of them using Look What You Made Me Do in the show.
Yes.
And she is so fucking smart. This is what people don't realize about her. She is smarter than everyone on the planet.
And you know what's really funny, too, about this fake band that she made up?
What?
The cover album is, I don't know if you saw it yet, but it's an old picture of Austin.
Of Austin? That's funny. Yep.
And it's like an illustration of it with Jack Leopards put across of it, and on his shirt says Dolphin Club.
I read really quick an article about this whole situation, and like fans supposedly caught on because apparently Austin's old Twitter handle was like the Dolphin Club or something like that. Oh. Like something related with dolphins.
Taylor Swift fans are so fucking crazy.
Yeah. Like if you ever need someone to like find out a case for you, like crack a case, like Taylor Swift fans have your back. They're like FBI agents basically.
So yeah, that's it on like the whole Scooter drama, Barstool and Taylor Swift. Basically, Scooter fucking sucks and nobody wants a Scooter in their life.
And I love that this drama just keeps getting better.
It really is, though. It's so juicy. It's so like you're like funny. Attached to your phone with the alerts for Dave Portnoy on, just waiting for the next piece of information that he gives us.
It's so good. Blessed. Just kidding.
Very blessed.
Yeah, and she did state, and she made it pretty clear that like she did want to do it and like move forward with Sophia.
Yeah. Which I mean, I don't blame her because now you have these fans, and like for somebody like, if you think of it this way, you're a fan of One Direction. And you love Harry Styles so much, and after he leaves the band, but you never really liked the members. Are you still going to be a fan of One Direction? You're going to leave with Harry. So I feel like the consensus that I'm getting though is more people are Alex fans than Sophia fans. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this doesn't really hurt them, but maybe those Sophia stans that like, yeah, Sophia's right, Sophia's that. Mm-hmm. Maybe are walking away from the podcast, and that's why she wanted to keep it a package deal and how things are. Nobody ever likes change. Some people do, but a lot of people don't like change. Yeah. But from what I'm seeing, everybody is Team Alex 100%.
I think everyone is Team Alex, but I also think it's just going to be different. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just not going to be the same. And I have only listened to podcasts when it was two people talking. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know how it's going to be when Alex is just like, just talking by herself. And like, I honestly wish her the best of luck. But I mean, it's just going to be different. Like, I don't think it's going to have the same effect on people as it did before.
Yeah. I agree. I usually listen. I've listened to people who were solo before, but I usually listen to people who have more one personalities in the podcast because I feel like you can get kind of different perspectives of different stories and understand it from both ways. But for her, especially being alone and talking about such a crazy topic, like now she's going to be in a room alone talking about like very graphic sexual things.
I can't imagine how it's going to be the same as it was before, but I mean, you never know. And then another thing I wonder is because Dave was like, okay, like I'll give like Sophia, I'll give her her own podcast, like if she thinks she's so talented or whatever, or even if Sophia moves on and like she does a podcast somewhere else, like does she know how to edit?
No.
You
So now
know?
they're gonna have to hire an editor for her.
Yeah. Right.
But I don't think I know Dave said that he was going to offer her a podcast by herself, but I think it's so past that she's done at Barstool that it's over with.
Right.
She has no chance
I
there.
think if she came back to Barstool, it would be so embarrassing on her part.
Oh yeah. I
And
would
then,
never listen to her. I would never even give her a chance. I'd be like,
yeah.
yeah, this girl's a fucking idiot and a bitch, and no.
Right.
I feel like her podcasting days are like over.
I do too, because Alex is going to continue on with Call Her Daddy, and like that's Sophia, like that's what Sophia talks about. So like, what else is Sophia going to talk about? It's not like she can like take Call Her Daddy elsewhere and just do it by herself. Like at least Alex has that. Like, what is Sophia going to have a podcast about?
Who knows? And I feel like if she tries to make it a similar topic, it's a very niche topic. It's not like they're talking about pop culture. Like, they're talking about very specific things that how many podcasts do you need to listen to in a week about those things?
Right. I totally agree.
I don't think it would be successful in either way. But even if she changes her gear 100% and like goes maybe like a fashion route or like a scary stories or whatever it may be, I don't think she's gonna have a following that's going with her.
I kind of just think the whole thing is ruined for them, for both of them.
I think Alex still might have a chance because she has Barstool behind her.
Yeah.
Will it be the same? No. But will she be successful? Yes. Like even Dave too is like such a smart businessman, like we said the last time, that the second Alex put that video out, he had his reaction. He's basically like, yeah, Alex is agreeing with me. This is how it is. And then a second after that, Barstool has all new product. Team Alex, founding father, see you fuckers Wednesday. Like he's making so much money off of this one girl's YouTube video, like not even a podcast. And then he also too, there's a shirt that says, I'm the Alex to her Sophia, or I'm the Sophia to her Alex. And those shirts went on sale for $2.99. And I think that was the best thing to come out of this. That is hysterical. I just been loving all of the social media things that's been coming out of this from Barstool and Dave, and also from the daddy gang and people who aren't even the daddy gang. There's been such funny memes and videos and TikToks and YouTubes and posts and all that that are hysterical and are just like going after these girls, and I'm living for it.
I know, especially because we're in quarantine, so like we're just dying for some drama to happen, and it's happened, and everyone is just latching onto it and just like making the most out of it, because what else are we doing? Nothing.
You know something? I was thinking about that. I was thinking, I don't think it is. I don't. But I was thinking this is almost like such a manipulative publicity move. This is like something Kris Jenner would do. Everyone's home. There's no pop culture gossip. So let's make some gossip of our own. I
did think of that. I really did think of that. But at the same time, I don't think that's true, just because like Sophia literally destroyed herself. So
well, maybe though I was thinking like on their end. So like maybe say we're in May now. So they were saying this drama started, what they say, March, you said? So like March. Say March is all this drama started, and then Alex, say the end of April, was like, you know what, I'm just doing it by myself. Sophia's not a part of it. And he's like, okay, well, we're going to wait a few weeks, and I have this master plan of how we're going to attack this. Like it's definitely, I feel like this is all very like PR savvy and getting like spinning your story and getting it out the right way. And I think she even said, she goes, all this was private. Nobody knew about this. And then she's like, all of a sudden, these stories kept coming out. And she put the blame on like Suitman and Sophia. But you could also take the opposite way and be like, okay, maybe it was Barstool's PR people putting this story out and making up this thing, because it's been doing great for Barstool. And I've seen so many tweets and Instagram saying like, I don't even know what Call Her Daddy is, but I sure as hell know all the gossip about
what the drama is.
Yeah. So I feel like they're getting more followers and losing. I wish I saw like their Instagram count before this happened and it now.
Right. I know, because even you and me, like, we're both like, oh, we don't know anything about that. But now this is our second podcast where we've talked about that.
Exactly. Here we are on a Sunday night at 9:14 talking about
Memorial Day weekend. Yeah.
But exactly, because there's nothing else to do. So everyone's latching onto this. And I'm sure people are going to be super interested to see what Alex has to say on Wednesday and like how the dynamic of that show is going to be alone. And can you think of like the people, like the advertisers, how much they're going to spend to get them on that episode?
That's so true. That's,
you know what I mean? Point. It's kind of like the Super Bowl of Barstool. everyone's going to be
podcasts in
flocking to this.
general.
Exactly. Everyone's going to be flocking to this podcast to see how it
Yeah.
is, to see what she says. The advertisers are like, I'm sure, fighting over a spot right now, putting in the highest bids to get those advertisements in that episode.
It probably is so much better. Like, Dave Portnoy had to go through all this drama, but like it's probably benefiting him actually so much.
But that's really it, really, for the drama. He's still going off about Suit Man, which I think is hysterical.
So funny. He'll never let it go.
No,
I don't think.
He was even drinking High Noon yesterday at his Nantucket house. You have it too, right? Allie has the peach flavor, I have the watermelon flavor.
I do.
Very good. He was out in the rain in his Nantucket house, and he was talking about Superman's soul. He's like, I'm never letting this die. He's like, I knew he was dead already when this first started. It was just when his death was gonna be. He's funny. I love him. Praise him.
He's so funny.
He is.
Like, imagine being Suitman though, and like having merch. Like, there's a group of people that hate you so much that merch is being made about you.
And what's crazy too is he's so high up at HBO, and I'm sure this isn't the publicity that they want at the moment. So I wonder if his, like, I don't think they'll take it as far as his position being in jeopardy, but I'm sure he's getting shit for it at work.
Probably. Like, I feel like there's no way his company didn't say something to him about it.
I feel like HBO could never die from this, but he just got like a bad taste. Like, this guy's running shit at HBO. He's an asshole.
At the same time, like, what can Peter Nelson do? Because it's like Dave Portnoy running his mouth about Peter. I don't know. I haven't like looked at Peter's like social media or anything, but I'm assuming that like he's not saying anything.
I looked for his social media the other day. He has none. He's an old man. He doesn't have any.
Isn't that what didn't Dave say that in one of his, like, I think he said that in one of his rants. He was like, he has no social media or something.
I don't know that for certain who was in his, but he doesn't, because I checked it myself.
Talk about how ugly he is also.
Oh, that's the best part. The Lord Farquaad pictures of him.
Identical twins. They are identical twins. They must have been like separated at birth or something.
Well, I saw a TikTok too, and they're like, we're taking sex and relationship advice from these girls when their boyfriends look like this. Did you see that one? And it's Peter. Then they put Noah in it, and I don't think Noah is a bad looking kid.
Me neither.
Yeah, that was just a bad picture of him, I think. But Peter Nelson is ugly.
He is so ugly.
Oh, 100%.
It's crazy. But like, how serious, I wonder, are Sophia and Peter Nelson? Because remember I told you I listened to like a really quick glimpse of one episode of Call Her Daddy?
Yeah.
It was during quarantine, and Sophia sounded single in it. It was in like March. It was like early quarantine.
What was she saying?
So basically, like, people were just talking about like, what do you do if you started talking to someone like before quarantine, like, and now we're obviously in quarantine, so like, what do you do? And like, her advice was just like, kind of just like disappear for a little bit. Like, that's what Sophia and Alex's advice was. But then in the podcast, they were talking about how like they were sending pictures to people during quarantine to like not keep the conversation going, but to just like keep the connection. And she sounded single, and that was only in March. So like, I don't know how serious.
I think they're pretty serious, because the pictures of them like on press, like things like red carpets and press previews and events have been from the past. But I'm assuming she was talking like she was single because of their podcast.
Like, of the sake of the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like, you ever, like, you know how, again, One Direction, like, say one of the guys were like dating somebody and they want to keep it under wraps, because how much you're going to love Harry Styles when he has a very serious girlfriend?
Yeah.
Or like, for their cases, how much are you going to take their single girl advice if they have a serious boyfriend? So I think maybe in that way she twisted. I didn't listen to it, but in my head, in a PR standpoint, like, I'm thinking maybe they're just twisting it because they need to be more available and more.
Because if the two of them have boyfriends, it's like, okay, Call Her Daddy is done. If these girls are like committed.
Because they're looking for single girl advice. I don't know. I listened to the episode, but that's what I'm assuming. They just need to be more.
I know what you mean though. Because
desirable.
There are so many guys. For example, I love Joe Santagato, the YouTuber.
Yeah.
And he never Instagrams his girlfriend or anything. Like, he's had like a serious girlfriend forever, and he like never posts her. And I guess it's because like if he started posting her, people would like cry because
you get less desirable. Somebody said that too on Impulsive. I forget who it was, but they came on the show and they're like, "Oh, so you're single?" He goes, "Oh no, like I've been dating this girl for a few years now." They're like, "What?" They're like, "What?" They're like, no, you're not. Like, your Instagram is." He's like, no, like, we don't post anything on Instagram. Like, it can't ruin our brands.
Can't ruin
like,
the brand.
but
Okay.
like at that point too, like how serious are you really with this person if you can't ruin your brand if you love them? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why, I don't know. Or maybe she's like thinking as a single girl and not necessarily saying that she is single.
Okay.
Maybe, who knows? We'll never get the truth of the story. Let's be real.
We will never know the truth.
No, but I mean, the truth that they're giving out sounds pretty truthful. So we'll go with that.
It does. I believe it, especially because Sophia came on Instagram and like gave the most pathetic.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even an apology. It wasn't even her speaking out. She was just like, "Hey, daddy gang."
She just
like
reminds me of like a rich
so
girl.
Weird.
Yeah, she just reminds me of like a rich girl who like doesn't get her way and just is like,
yeah,
but I want it.
Like an entitled rich girl.
Yes.
Again, know nothing about her, but like that's the vibe I'm getting from her.
Yeah. That's really all that came out of the Call Her Daddy drama since the last time we did the podcast. And I think we caught everybody up, gave our opinion. But we do want to tell you something really cool.
Yep.
Dave Portnoy reposted a picture of myself from our account today. Very excited. My sister and I went to the store to get some alcohol, and we got High Noon, and we got the Pink Whitney. And ironically, I was wearing a Barstool shirt, didn't plan it. And we're walking out. I was like, I literally look like the biggest Barstool Dave Portnoy fangirl ever. So she took a picture of me, like as a joke to put on her Snapchat. I literally had my mask on still, my gloves, I had a fanny pack. Like I could not look worse. So I put it on our podcast page to be funny. I didn't even put it on my personal account. And literally, I think like 4 or 5 minutes later, Dave Portnoy reposted it and couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And it was so good that I put it from our podcast site too.
I know.
Got a little bit more followers and likes and views. So that helped us, I think, a whole bunch.
And also, like, what is especially really exciting about the fact that he reposted Carson from our podcast account is that we actually just sent him a proposal where we, like, auditioned to put this podcast on Barstool because we are, like, having so much fun with this podcast. And we saw him post after, like, all the Call Her Daddy drama that, like, they're always looking for talent. Mm-hmm. So we were like, let's do it. Like, let's go for it. So we sent him a whole proposal. I think it came out so good.
It came out great. We have a whole like boilerplate, a little pitch, our videos in there.
Really good.
Mm-hmm. Our graphics were good. Mm-hmm. I think it was a whole package. So
yeah,
you never know.
He reposted us and we were kind of like, fuck yeah, like he noticed us. So he could notice us, you know, whenever he goes through our email, if he ever does.
Yeah. Or even too, like he reposted it there. Maybe if he did check out our page from there as well, he saw, oh, it's a podcast. Let me listen to it. Or, oh, this looks cool. Let me send it to somebody else. Yeah. Or maybe he did nothing with it. Well,
maybe.
We don't know.
Don't know.
But still very cool regardless. It made our day. And we've been both enjoying our alcohol that came with it. So thank you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
And yeah, so that's it for this episode. We thank you guys for listening. Make sure you subscribe. You follow us on Instagram at Talk of the Islands so you'll never miss an episode. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.